What's up, everybody? It's Alex Leak and Friends NBA podcast back for another week. I'm your host, Alex Leak. We got Ricky G back on the show. Ricky G, it's so good to have you on.
Appreciate you, man. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, it's always a blast to have you on the show. One of my favorite guests I've ever had, and the perfect time to have you on right in the heart of the playoffs, conference finals coming to an end, and we're getting ready for the NBA finals. But we got a really good game tonight. Game six, Heat Celtics. And I mean, you know this. This has got to be a must win for Miami, right? You can't go back to the Garden for a game seven. It has to end tonight if you're a Heat fan.
Well, it has to end. Boston has to win tonight, or it is the end.
That's
So,
true. Um,
I believe if both teams play their A game, Boston wins.
yeah,
But but we haven't seen that. I mean, I think Boston played their A game last game, maybe, but I mean, this Boston thing is just so confusing because the talent level between them and the Heat it's not even close in my view.
yeah.
So, but the role players made shots. Now, here's the question: we're getting game six, game seven. The jumpers get a little tight. Can the role players make shots tonight? That's the question.
Yeah. Yeah. Do the Heat have one more big game in them? Can they put them away?
It's
Um,
it's going to
I,
take a Butler 40-point game or a Bam 30-point game
yeah, yeah, maybe both.
or both.
um, I mean, so I've been, I've got my questions on Jason Tatum going back to last year's finals, when they had a 2-1 lead on your Warriors, going back to game six against Philly, even game five against Philly in this year's playoffs, and then getting down in a 3-0 hole that they should have never gotten into, to lose those first two at home. Um, this is a big game, not only for the Heat, but for Jason Tatum and his career early on, right? I mean, he needs to prove he can win one.
I think he figured it out last game.
Okay.
When Jason Tatum passes the ball early, everything fits and works better for the Celtics as a team. I
Hmm.
think I think the first three games Boston tried to beat Miami off the bounce. The last two games they beat them off the pass. It's
Yeah.
just it's simple basketball. Ball movement, the pass is the greatest strength. When Spo played that soft shell zone and Tatum and Brown played right into a ball pounding. And the last two
Hmm.
games they went more to movement, ball side to side on both sides of the half court. Miami can't guard that. Love, Robinson, they don't have the speed to guard both sides of the half court. And if Boston does that tonight and Monday, I think they win it.
I was saying when it was 3-0, I was saying Spoelstra was coaching circles around Missoula. Is that a change by Missoula? Is that actually credit to him getting back into the
Actually,
series?
actually, Spo's a great coach. And
Yeah.
Spo, I don't think Spo had anything to do with the first three games. It was all
Okay.
Boston.
Yeah.
It was Boston's collapse, Boston's chaos. I think Boston was beating themselves. Boston
Yeah.
couldn't get out of their own way. I mean, what did Spo do? All Spo did was, again, play a soft zone, took the dribble away, and said, "Beat me on the three line," and they couldn't do it.
Hmm.
He didn't do anything major. Now, what helped Spo is his role players. The first three games made open shots. Once Boston took away the open shots, the last two games, those role players are not as good shooters.
Yeah. And so credit to Jimmy Butler to have his team one win away from going back to the finals for the second year in a row. I'm a big Jimmy Butler fan, going back to his days in Chicago because I'm a Bulls fan, and I love to see him proving everybody wrong. Teams like the Bulls and the Sixers who didn't believe in him or didn't keep him around long term, and now he's got the Heat contending. 3 out of the last 4 years. How impressed are you with Jimmy Butler and who he's become?
Well, Butler's a great player. Butler's been playing great. Butler's has good playoffs. Here's the
Hmm.
question I want to ask: is Butler number one on the chip team?
That's the question. Yeah, can he win that Finals MVP?
I don't know if he is, but maybe. But I know one thing: if you got Jimmy Butler as a two, you got you got a pretty good basketball team.
Yeah,
But we'll
yeah.
see. I mean, if he pulls this off, I mean, I guess I'll take an L. But I don't know. But he's been good in these playoffs, and I think. But here again, let's go back from the start. The Heat caught the Bucks, who had injuries. Giannis
Hmm.
wasn't right, but they beat him. Then they catch the Knicks with Randall, who disappeared, and the Knicks were kind of in their own way. They beat them.
Yep.
Now they got Boston. The last two games, they've been beat by a combination of 30 points.
Yeah.
So, I mean, at the end of the day, they're still what their record says they are. Now, you get NBA players that get on a roll and get confidence, things change real quick. And what
So
happened was Miami was a team that was playing with confidence, and Boston was playing with no confidence. And that's a bad combination.
yeah, absolutely. Going back to what you brought up, the Heat and the Bucks. I mean, the Heat, the first 8 seed to win a series since 2012 when Derrick Rose got hurt. Giannis got hurt, but the one win the Bucks had in that series was when Giannis didn't play. What's your thoughts on Giannis right now? I mean, 2 years in a row, I feel like he's underachieved, and that was just a really disappointing playoffs this year for Milwaukee. And and then they make Budenholzer the fall guy, and now they hired what, Adrian Griffin. You like that hire?
I do. I've been pushing for Griffin for 3 years.
Nice, good call.
Yeah, in fact, I tweeted that today. I got tweets telling people to hire Griffin all the way back in 2020.
Nice,
But
but
back to Milwaukee and Giannis. Giannis wasn't right. And I know people make a lot of about the game he didn't play.
mm-hmm,
Basketball works in units, and sometimes the star players play hurt or don't play. It doesn't give you a real read. I mean, things happen, but you
mm-hmm,
got to. One thing I do need to do is give Miami credit. They beat the teams that have lined up in front of them. I can sit here and give reasons, but the results are they have beat the teams. So I think that's a good thing.
yeah,
But let's
100%.
let's not forget they're still a playing team, and if they lose four in a row, that's where we're going to end up going back to. They was a playing team.
Yeah,
See,
how,
everybody talks about the 3-0, 156 to 0 or whatever it is.
yeah,
That doesn't apply in this series because Boston's been the favorite every game. This is a team that's the better team is the team that's down 3 games. I don't think that
yeah,
happens too many times.
yeah. I agree. It's set up for it to happen, for history to be made.
Well,
How
yeah,
crazy?
if both teams play their A game, Boston wins. The only way
Yeah.
Boston don't win this series is they don't play their A game.
Are you surprised it's never happened before? You've been watching the NBA
No,
since.
because usually it's the 1 and 2 seeds crushing the 7 and 8 seeds.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Very rarely is the you got a good point. Very rarely is the better team down 0-3.
Yeah, that happened. I mean, if you go, I mean, you might find a couple teams, but out of that 156 times, I bet it's not more than 5 teams that have been the
Yeah,
favorite every time.
yeah. That's you're a big Warriors fan. Were you surprised with how it ended? I certainly was. I picked the Warriors over the Lakers in 6. I picked the Warriors to get back to the finals, or at least go to the conference finals. Um, and I was surprised by how well the Lakers played against them and how the Lakers beat them. What were your thoughts? You watched the Warriors closely, all season long. Why did they lose that series to the Lakers?
Lakers are a better team.
Okay.
Lakers are bigger. Warriors had nothing for AD. Warriors had too many players that are non-offensive threats, so Kerr had to go to high usage pick and roll with Steph. They wore him out. Steph was
Mm-hmm.
12 for 45 from 3 line the last 4 games. That high usage ate his legs. Warriors
Yeah.
got too many players on their roster right now that are specialists. You can't play multiple players that the teams don't have to guard, especially when you got AD, and
Mm-hmm.
it's a problem. And the Warriors guards couldn't guard point of attack this year. There's a lot going on with my team, and I'm not sure about. I think the punch, the team being divided, it just didn't seem like they were there together this year. And they
Hmm.
never, they have some runs where they look like, hey, maybe this is the defending champs. But we had three perimeter guards. All three got hunted at times. Clay, Steph, Poole, they all got hunted.
Hmm.
And that's a problem. And then Wiggins' situation being gone and coming back. I mean, and then Green against the Lakers, he only played one game where he was felt. He didn't
Yeah.
really he didn't put nothing on the Lakers. So I thought the Lakers were the better team. I thought Sacramento might have been the better team, to be honest. But they
Yeah.
just no experience, and Kerr made some critical adjustments in Game 7 that Brown didn't adjust to, and then Curry had 50. But no, it is what it is. But I didn't see the Warriors getting back to the finals.
Well, and Steve Kerr agreed with you. He said afterwards, this isn't a championship level team,
Well,
and
it can't be if you're 3 and 600 on the road. How can you be?
yeah, that's true. And credit to Kerr, man. A lot of people don't know how great. I mean, Kerr 5 championships as a player, 4 as a head coach, and you look at who he played under and learned from: Luke Olson, Lenny Wilkins, Phil Jackson, Greg Popovich. No wonder he's a hell of a coach.
His fan base don't think so. His
Yeah, and
fan
that
base, they all think it's his assistants. They will tell you that Kenny Atkinson, Mike Brown, and Luke Walton are the greatest coaches, and Kerr don't know what he's doing. That's what they will tell you.
well, they're wrong.
Of course they are. You know what's amazing is they'll put their name on it and say it.
Yeah,
Like who are you guys talking to?
yeah.
But I
And
mean, the Warriors fan base hates me because I back Kerr.
fan bases get emotional, and
Well,
that's
Steph
why they.
stand it's not the Warriors fan base. Like, let me correct that. It's the Steph stands.
Yeah,
The best way to build your followers if you're a Warriors fan
mm.
is to be a Steph stand and hate Steve Kerr. If you do those two things, you got an automatic 5 to 7,000 followers. Automatic.
Yep.
It's the truth. That's why they don't go from 7,000 to 15,000 because most people don't accept that.
Hmm. It's wild. But I mean, that's why I love following you on Twitter. You're the best follow because you keep it real, no matter whether it's the Warriors or whoever you're talking about. You're not emotional about it. You talk basketball and that's it. You're not a
Well,
stan.
well, let me tell you what. Well, that comes from this. When I used to have AAU teams or be around AAU programs, I
Hmm.
used to have a lot of players that were getting recruited by college coaches.
Yep.
College coaches would call me from time to time to ask me about players on other AAU teams. I got to tell them the truth because the minute I lie to them, I've shot my name.
Yep.
See, people, well, I keep basketball honest because I took 55 years to build my name in the basketball business and my relationships. I'm not going to go on there because I hate something and be stupid because
Yes.
you lose it. You tell a college coach one time, tell him twice on a player that you completely got wrong, he'll stop calling you.
Yeah.
And people don't understand it. I mean, when you're on Twitter, you can say anything you want. There's no consequences. Well, for me, there's consequences.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, but I trust the Warriors to get back. I trust Steve Kerr. I think they're going to make the right decisions, and hopefully, do you think they're going to bring back the majority of the guys? Or
I don't think they have a choice. I think they're stuck with the
yeah,
cap and the contracts. They're stuck.
yeah,
See a lot of people see. First of all, we don't even have a GM right now. We got to take care of that. But people are saying Kerr's saying this, Kerr's saying that. What the hell is Kerr supposed to say?
hmm,
He knows his roster. He's trapped. He's got to figure out a way to figure it out. But if they don't figure out, uh, you got guys like a Green, a Looney, a GP2. Those three guys you don't have to guard. If you don't have
hmm,
to guard them, it makes it tough on everybody. And they're
yeah,
not good enough. See, when they were winning chips 4-on-5 or whatever, or those type specialty players, they were good enough to mask it and overcome it. They're not good enough anymore.
yeah,
They got to start playing 5-on-5, and they got to start building habits. They don't have a switch. You know that pointing to your hand, counting rings, and telling everybody how many you got. That's beautiful, but that's done with.
yeah, yeah. Uh,
Draymond's the key. Draymond's the key for me. Draymond's got to come back and he's got to play basketball games, and he's got to
Yeah,
be felt, and he does at times. Sometimes when Draymond scores 10 to 12 points, the Warriors are hard to guard.
yeah,
But when he don't even look at the rim, they're easy to guard.
yeah. Because he keeps them honest when he's looking to score, and then he can pass. He
True,
can attract the defense and pass out when he's just looking to pass. It's like you don't even have to play him to score.
it's true.
But yeah, good takes on all that. I was not a believer in the Lakers at all. I thought they were going to lose the play-in, and they almost did. To Minnesota, at least the first one. I picked the Grizzlies to beat them. Grizzlies lack of experience, lack of a closer, didn't get it done. I definitely picked the Warriors to beat the Lakers. I was wrong there, and then I started to get worried. But then they get swept by the Nuggets. Um, were you surprised by the sweep? You think with LeBron James and AD, you can get at least a game. For it to be a sweep really surprised me. Did that surprise you?
Well, it surprised me because we watched the Lakers play the Warriors. See here again,
Yeah.
that just goes to show you the Warriors weren't as good as advertised because the Lakers. Everybody talks about 4-2 and it was close, but the Lakers were no, it wasn't. Lakers won 3 out of 4. We're up 3-1. They
Hmm.
they that series was all they always had a chokehold on that series. I never for a minute thought the Warriors were going to beat the Lakers after the first 4 games. Never
Yeah.
never thought for a minute it wasn't going to happen. Denver's good.
Yeah. Denver.
Denver Denver's
Yeah.
good, and Denver's got the best player on the floor.
Hmm.
The best player on the floor may have his best side piece as far as
Yep.
two.
Yep.
I mean, Jokic and Murray were better than AD and LeBron. That's just the truth.
Yep.
And it's going to be hard to beat them. And it's going to get worse because they're young and Porter's starting to come. But see, people didn't want to believe in Denver because people believed they couldn't guard. And people
Hmm.
got this narrative Jokic is food on defense. Jokic ain't food on defense when he's surrounded by players that can guard. He actually
Yeah.
played AD pretty good straight up. He was
Yep.
actually pretty good on defense. Now, you'll get some bunnies and you'll get some straight line drives against him, but that's okay. Believe me, you can't guard him and you can't double Murray because of him, because of the short roll and his passing. So they're going to be tough to beat 4 games. I think now, as far as if I'm Denver, I want Miami to win tonight, get that shit over with, and they
Yeah.
can go they can go crush Miami. If Boston comes all the way back, now they got a different animal in their hands. They got a team that just came back from 3 down, won 4 straight, confident. they now Boston's not going to be the same team they are in Miami because just of the confidence level.
Oh yeah. If they win four in a row, that's going to be a tough team to beat at that point. They're going to be believing it. Yeah. That it's going to be a fun finals regardless. I think. If the Heat win, I'm rooting for the Heat. Nuggets Celtics. I don't know if I'm rooting for anybody. I just think it's going to be a hard fought 6 or 7 game series. But
I I want to see Denver win it all just because Jokic has been so disrespected.
yeah, to me, Jamal Murray, man, I said it going into that Lakers series. Jamal Murray was the X factor, and he played so well. Um, I thought he was part of the reason that they weren't very competitive in 2020. And I was like, we need more out of Jamal Murray. And he played so well in these conference finals. And then the length of Aaron Gordon and MPJ really helped out a lot too.
They're a solid basketball team, and
Yeah,
Murray is good.
yeah. Um, Jokic is great. So I got a question for you. They say they were making a big deal about Jokic passing Wilt for triple doubles in a playoff. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but a lot of that Wilt would have a lot more triple doubles if they recorded the blocks back then, right?
Well, I don't know. Is blocks considered a triple? I don't know.
Yeah. So, because
Well,
he would have
they're
had
they're,
multiple
they're different
seasons.
players, though. I mean, see, I was on a Spaces the other day, and guys were talking about all-time bigs, and they just don't even mention Will or Walton's name, and it's like, wait a minute, let's slow down.
Yeah.
Jokic has a stand. Let me tell you something. Let Denver run off about 3 chips or 2 chips. Let Jokic win 2 or 3 more MVPs. Jokic, you can throw his name against anybody's.
Yeah.
I
You
mean,
kind of you called it a little bit. You said the big man was making a return. It might already be
well,
here, you know?
no, it's already here. The last 4 out of 5 champs are big men. See, people that tell you that the bigs are gone. Again, we
Yeah.
always go back to Steph Curry's stance. It's them. They believe this. See, they believe Steph just wipes out all bigs. Well, that day's over. When he first
Yeah.
started, he did. See, people will tell you Steph Curry changed the game, and we can argue about that on another episode when it's long. Here's
Yeah.
what changed the game. Steve Kerr brought in a new philosophy and a new system with Clay and Steph as the two best shooters.
Hmm.
Steve Kerr's philosophy busted NBA rosters. That first year they won a chip, nobody could guard him because their roster wasn't built to guard him. That's when everybody went to the wings and got rid of the bigs. Okay, the Warriors were so good, they won a few chips. They brought KD in to play small ball with a big, and they were the best team. Now, when that's kind of settled down, basketball's still going to end up being about the bigs. Look at your three best players in the world. They're the bigs.
Yep.
Giannis, Embiid, and Jokic. So this idea that you can just play any big blah blah blah, that's just Steph Stans talking, and they're partially right, but it's a short term deal.
Yeah. Yep. Um, yeah, I mean, like I was saying, Wilt had a playoffs where 1962 where he averaged 35 and 26. And then you add blocks to that. I mean, we
Will was the best best athlete I ever seen on a basketball court. I actually was about, I don't know, maybe 14 years old, 15 years old, somewhere in that area. I sat courtside and watched Wilt go against Kareem. I've never seen anything like it to this day.
yeah,
That's the greatest show I ever saw.
wow. Um, yeah, I mean, why do you think it is that, in my opinion, the national media doesn't like to explain or give context, right? They only talk about Jokic passing Wilt, and they try to make everything seem like today's player is the best, and they want to prop up
Well,
today's game to remove the history, and they don't want to talk about the history, in my opinion, and I hate that, you know?
well, first of all,
Like,
they don't know the history. If you
yeah,
don't know it, how do you talk about it? And second of all, the players today are better. They're better shot makers. They're better athletes. That's all true. But to try to tell me that a Walton or a Wilt or a Magic or Bird couldn't play today,
yeah,
that's insane. Will
yeah.
Chamberlain would. What was the tweet? A guy from Warriors Twitter saying Kareem and Duncan would be role players today. Are you
Oh my
serious?
god,
You just
yeah,
we're watching Jokic right now dominate, and you're going to tell me Kareem and Duncan can't play today only as a role player? That's insanity.
yeah,
Kareem would crush the league today.
yeah,
No, they'd have to. I mean, you'd have to send 2 to 3 players to guard him. First of all, Kareem scored all his whatever, how many thousands of points he scored in traffic and no spacing. Put
yeah.
Kareem in a block with spacing, you can't stop him. Kareem could score anytime he wanted to. And then
On
if you go the block with Kareem on every possession, the pace stops. And now the transition game stops, and you got to double him. I mean, it's just too easy to say old players couldn't play today. Tim Duncan can't play today. What? Tim Duncan ain't as good as Jokic? I mean, look at his resume. That's dumb.
yeah,
You know,
yeah. I hate
that's
those narratives. I try to push against those narratives every chance I get. Um, what do you think? So Kareem did go what 71 to 80 without winning a ring, and he won with Hall of Fame point guards. Is that a big reason why? Is he needed the point guard to
uh,
feed him the ball in the post?
let's talk about that.
Yeah,
Bigs can be good. Bigs can be very good. But for a big to be great, he has to have good guard play.
yeah,
That's why Jokic is great this year. He's got good guard play. Jokic
yeah.
couldn't beat the Warriors last year because he had no guard play. He still
Okay.
got his numbers, but he didn't have guard play. See, there's not a big in the world that's going to be great and win if you don't have good guard play. That's not
Okay.
going to happen.
Yeah, that's a good point. Excellent point on that. Let's see. So I know, um, yeah, I can't wait for these finals. I'm picking the Heat to win tonight. I want it to be over. I want a Heat Nuggets finals is what I want. I think if the Celtics get back, they're going to get beat again, in my opinion. they're going to have a lot of confidence if they get there because of 4 straight wins. I think Jokic is the best player on the floor. Jamal Murray's balling right now. I agree with. Do you agree with me? Nuggets take that.
I think that if Nuggets play their A game, nobody beats them.
Yeah. Yep.
But you know what? I wouldn't be shocked if Boston won tonight and then lose Game 7.
Wow, that would shock me.
That wouldn't. Boston's not good at home.
That's true.
Boston's a better road team than they are a home team. I mean, it's. I mean, since we're into weird shit, why don't we just get weird? I mean, I don't know.
I go back to you remember last year they beat the Bucks in Game 7 at the Garden. They beat the Heat in their house in Game 7, but then they lost those finals with a 2-1 lead. That really lost me on Tatum when he blew a 2-1 lead to the Warriors last year. Did you see Tatum kind of disappear or no show late in the finals last year?
It was all schemes.
Yeah.
Boston wanted to play ISO. See, Boston played into the Warriors' hands. On
Hmm.
defense, they played drop coverage to eliminate movement because Udoka didn't want to guard movement. And he told Steph Curry, go ahead and beat me. And he almost pulled it off. He was 1 quarter away in Game 4 from pulling it off. And then
Yeah.
Steph and Wiggins went crazy and beat him. And then on offense, Tatum and Brown tried to beat the Warriors off the bounce. They played right into the defense's hands. See, people, you can't the pass. You got to play off the pass. You can't play off the bounce
Hmm.
against grown-ups. It doesn't work. I fight part of my fan base all the time. They want Curry to pound the shit out of the ball, play high usage pick and roll. They think that wins because they see short situational
Yeah.
basketball winning. That don't work.
Yeah. It takes away his legs, gets worn out in a 7 game series, right?
Sure. And
Yeah.
it don't work. His
Yeah.
shots are more contested. Curry
Yeah.
was 12 for 45 the last 4 games. Why was that? Because everything was off the bounce and everything was getting contested.
Yeah.
That's why Curry prefers off ball. He wants to get open looks. He doesn't want every shot contested.
Yeah. That's true. You're preaching. So I know you don't do lists, all time lists. Can I tell you my all time top 10 and you pick it apart?
Go ahead.
Tell me where I'm wrong? All right. Number one's Michael Jordan for me. I'm biased. I gotta say Jordan. I have no problem if you got Russell or Kareem, but I think that's where it ends. I think there's 3 guys that could be the GOAT. Jordan, Russell, or Kareem. For me, it's Michael Jordan. Do you agree with that?
No, but go
Okay.
ahead. No, go ahead. Tell me your top 10 and I'll tell you who you. I'm not going to get back. Look,
Yeah.
the 3 best players I've ever seen with my own eyes,
Yeah.
Kareem, Wilt, and MJ. Now, you guys can all start at 4. I don't care.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
Now, does real quick, does Will only having 2 rings, does that factor into it? Is
Well,
Will is Will similar to LeBron where
wait a
physically,
minute. Are we evaluating? I mean, winning matters, but are we
yes.
evaluating players as individual talents, or are we evaluating players as team?
See, to me, that's where I
Because
get lost because
because
I
if we're
put it
gonna
all
do
together.
if we're gonna do team, then Magic Bird and Duncan shoot to the top.
Yeah. Okay.
See see when you see that's why I don't do lists. It gets too
Yeah.
complicated. See, immediately people want to bring rings. Well,
Yeah.
if you bring rings, then Duncan's got to be up in the top 4, doesn't he?
Yeah. Well,
Where's
so
Kobe?
he's sixth on mine.
Go ahead, give me your top 10.
All right. Michael Jordan 1, Bill Russell 2, but I can debate that. 3, Kareem, 4, Magic Johnson, 5, Kobe Bryant, 6, Tim Duncan, 7, Larry Bird, 8, Akeem, 9, Shaq, 10 is split right now between LeBron and Steph.
See, here's the problem. If we had 100 guys listening to your list,
Yeah.
98 of them would have different. They would all have a pushback on somebody.
Yeah, exactly.
See, when I've seen every NBA player play since 1968.
Hmm.
If you think that I can find 10 guys that are automatic top 10 players, you're out of your goddamn mind. And then we got to
True.
talk about, are we talking longevity? Are we talking peak?
Yeah. Yeah, because 94 Akeem, peak is right there with anybody, right?
What about Walton, 77, 78,
Yeah.
76?
Yep.
If Walton's feet don't give out, he's in the GOAT conversation.
Yep.
I
That's
mean,
crazy.
it is great. I mean, there's just too much talent. That's why,
Yeah.
I mean, a name you didn't mention?
Yeah.
I'll throw, here, I won't, I'll throw a name at you.
All right.
He was probably all defense 8 or 9 times. He's got 25,000 points. He's a two-way guard. He's a finals MVP as a loser. Where's Jerry
Yeah.
West?
Yep. So
You know,
I
people
love
talk
Jerry
about,
West.
if
Yeah.
you take Jerry West's resume and stand it next to Steph's resume,
Hmm.
make that argument. Jerry
So
West, Jerry West scored 25,000 points on a hard rim, no three line.
I need to watch more West. In that era, was West was with Baylor for most of his career, right?
Most of it.
And
West had talent around him. Don't get me wrong, but here's the problem with Jerry West and Wilt. Those
okay.
guys got beat by Bill Russell, Boston Celtics, that had a
Yeah.
lot of Hall of Famers.
Loaded team.
Yeah, they're loaded teams. Back then there was less teams. All the teams were loaded.
They do you agree? They say Bill Russell is arguably the best defender of all time. Do you agree with that?
See, I don't comment on Russell because I only saw Russell's last year, and
Yeah.
I never saw him live.
Yeah.
So I don't
There's not
I
a
don't
lot of
comment on
film
Russell.
on him or nothing.
I I'm not going to speak on something I haven't seen with my eyes.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I mean, I agree. Top 10 lists are debatable. I just I don't have LeBron top five, and that's where I get a lot of pushback. But to me, there's so many, like you say, there's so many all-time greats. NBA history is so rich. How can you just put someone top five without pushback?
You
And
can't.
yeah, and that's why when people get so upset, it's like, well, that's why I wish national media would talk about the game's history more, because there's so many greats. Like Pistol Pete, John Rick Barry, guys like that. Bill Walton, like you brought up.
Well, Pistol Pete was an entertainer. I wouldn't
Yeah.
consider him a great basketball player. He was more. Now he was a great shooter, but he was an entertainer.
But like in this era, Pistol Pete would be amazing, right?
Yeah, Pistol Pete could score. Pistol Pete's one of the best shooters ever, and he did it on. See, here's what people don't understand when I talk to you about basketball.
Yeah.
Are we going to talk before or after hard rim? If you never
Yeah,
played on a
exactly.
hard rim, you don't know what the fuck you talking about.
Yeah.
I missed the breakaway rim by about 3 years. I would have loved to have that. If they'd had a 3-point line, a hard rim, I mean, if they'd had the 3-point line, a breakaway rim, my life
Yeah.
might be much different. I
Yeah.
had to shoot that shit on that hard rim. People don't understand that hard rim is brutal.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, Yeah, I mean it's fun to debate it. And then how about what's your thoughts on Victor Wembanyama? Some are calling him the best NBA prospect ever, and better than LeBron. Richard Jefferson saying that at least. Have you seen much of Victor, and are you excited to see what he brings?
He's the best prospect my eyes have ever seen.
That's crazy.
Now, there's a key word, what I just said,
Yeah,
prospect.
yeah,
I saw LeBron as a freshman. I thought LeBron was the best prospect I'd ever seen. Now, I didn't see Kareem in high school.
okay.
But I'll give you a conversation I had today at having a little breakfast this morning.
Mm-hmm.
Kareem, who was Lou Alcindor at the time, when he was a senior in college, he was the best player in the world as a senior in college. Okay.
Wow.
Is it possible that Caitlin Clark today at Iowa next year will be a senior and be the best female player in the world? Because we haven't had that before.
Okay.
See, that's only twice in my lifetime I've seen that. I can make that statement. I'm not saying it's right, but I can make the statement. Now,
Yeah.
Wemby is the best prospect my eyes have ever seen. Now, will he be a better player? I don't know. But
Yeah.
prospect wise, nothing like him. Not even
size and
LeBron.
length alone, and then the shot, the handles.
See, people forget Kareem and Bill Walton's college career.
Yeah, that's something I need to watch. I've seen a little bit of Bill in college. I need to watch some Kareem in college.
Well, they changed rules because of him.
Yeah, outlawed the dunk. That's unthinkable now.
That's true. Kareem's Kareem is the only player I have seen in my basketball lifetime that there was no scheme or defense for him. You just had to hope he missed.
hmm Do you remember when Kareem could have become a New York Knick? He, I think, preferred the Knicks as
You
a
know what?
destination.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, well, that's something I read on Wiki. Whether it's true or not, I don't know. But
I don't recall that.
yeah, but I love talking NBA history as much as I love the current game. I want to be educated if I'm going to talk it, and so that's why I love following you on Twitter, talking basketball with you, and having you on my show because you know the game's history, and it's always a blast to have you on, Ricky. I mean, it's a
I
lot of fun.
appreciate you. We'll do it
Yeah,
again another time. I appreciate you. Thanks for having me on.
absolutely. Go Heat tonight, and we'll see if the Nuggets, see if Jokic can get that elusive ring. Thanks for coming on, Ricky.
All right. Have a good day.
All right, you too. Thanks, everyone. Don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment. Let us know what you think. And have a great week. Peace out.